Yeah. So, Alchemy. I'm gonna do some pre-stream stuff real quick on stream because I wasn't planning on streaming, but Alchemy just dropped create-web3-dapp, and I'm super curious. So I figured let's check it out together, right? So I'm just gonna check my levels real quick. Make sure that I am audible. Sorry, I need to figure out a better situation with my mic. It's like sitting on the table in front of me, but cable management. There we go. That should do that. All right. Now, camera's off again. I keep getting it set like right, but like I got a stand or got slash built a standing desk and sorry, my stuff got like bed beard. Um sorry, not Twitter, Twitch. Um and it's awesome, but it wobbles a little bit. All right. Volume sounds pretty good. Um I'll bring it up just a little bit more. How about this? All right. If I'm too loud, too quiet, whatever, let me know. Let's get started because I have a lot to do today and I should probably figure this out. So, NPX, create web3 dapp at latest. Yes, let's install this. Now, I came through this part once already before I was like, I want to stream this because this is something that's interesting and I want to talk about it with people. So, fine using the standard template, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick create default full stack app. Need to come back through and see what the other one does later. Anyways, all right, so we're gonna pick Ethereum testnet. Now optional. So there's a lot of option things here. So I am very curious about testing out what certain um you ever read choose your own adventure games when you were a kid? I'm dating myself now, obviously. But when I did that, I would hold my thumb in like the page that I had been on before so I could go and like read what that misadventure would end up being, and then go back and choose the other one and like work my way through the decision tree. I wish I could do that here, but I can't. Might have to make multiple different projects. Hard hat foundry's coming. That's neat. I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. I'm going to have it go ahead and create the smart contract for me, although this is all right. But I have to come back to this. I'm gonna make two, I think, right away because I want to see specifically how this project is scaffolded differently if you don't pick some of these contract options. So, awesome contract. I like that it auto suggests a symbol for you. I think that's neat. I'm gonna pick the stuff that I typically would have standard on a project. So burnable, pausable, ownable. Let's do auto increment and URI storage. Yes. Do you have an Alchemy account? Yes. All right. I'm gonna pull this off screen and this off screen and put in my API key. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna set up like a disposable one so we can just go through this together. So I'm in my Alchemy account and I'm gonna name this stream demo key do this on Ethereum. Go early. Create app. All right, view details. Let's see your view key. I'm gonna grab that. We'll go ahead and put it over here. All right. So now it's going to go through and install all our dependencies, scaffold the application. So this might just take a second while that's happening. I'm going to, seriously, why is my beard just sticking like straight out? It does that sometimes. Like really, it's a bed thing. Like just need to, I washed it like with soap last night, which, you know, I wash it every night, but when I use like something that strips the natural oils out, it gets a little out of control. All right. Let's see here. This is I feel like they need some feedback here. Like I appreciate this giving me these random carriage returns to let me know that something is happening. Hey, there we go. So, I'm gonna do this in my own way. So cd, we're gonna cd into the directory, create, but I'm gonna pop this open in VS Code, and I'm gonna come right back here, and we're gonna literally do this again, but I'm gonna pick it without any of the contract stuff. I create web3-dapp, no contract. All right, but I do want to check this pre-built template thing too. Too many things to check. All right, skipping the hard hat stuff. Yes. Do I still have it in my, I do. It's still on my clipboard. All right, so while that one's building, let's check out the first one. So, opinions already. I used to use this folder structure, and it stinks. This is why it stinks. Like, so what they recommend is to go in. So it'd be my. Oh wow, that went much faster. Interesting. Well, let's open both. So. Sorry. I was talking about this other thing, my create. There we go. And then so here's my gripe and why I developed something else, and I might need to actually contribute to this project if it is like I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while. And so if they have other aspects pretty well integrated, then I might need to create some PRs because I've figured this stuff out before. Wow. I'm a little all over the place. So if I was to let me just show you. If I was to be working in this as a normal, like in my normal workflow, so I'm gonna go into the front end. I'm gonna open that. I'm gonna need to go into my back end and open that. So there's number one. Like I'm already like having to like jump around. I've got two IDEs open, two different sets of. Oh, there's not even any linting rules by default in here. Sorry. This is brand new. I'm sure they're gonna do a lot more. Okay, so here's um the non-contract version. It's like just the front end. So let's go back to the front end version. So let's say I'm a contract developer and I have multiple projects going and I'm like, all right, I need to go into the front end. Which project front end is this? Which project back end is this? The fact that I have to have both open, we're gonna have different sets of, like linting rules and prettify and all these other things, all the stuff that I have to manage twice. Like even if the boilerplate is already being done for me here, like just the managing it twice does not seem appealing to me. So yeah, now please take all of these criticisms with a grain of salt. I'm definitely not here to attack anyone. I know that this is like version, like what did it say in here, 0 point something. So all of this is from a place of love and with what is this? Um okay, we have to try that. Sorry. Anyways, this is just like these are things that I have worked through these problems already, and that's interesting. Okay, so we have ESLint here and ESLint config next, but there is no, I guess it's just using purely out of box. So if I npm run lint, what do we get? Yeah, next link does not exist. Did you mean next lint? Hey, let's open a PR, guys. Seriously though, should I do that? Boy, I have so much stuff going on. This is ridiculous. Okay, so let's just run this first. Okay, npm run dev. So sorry. Wow, I am so all over the place. I need to like organize my thinking here. The first thing I did want to do was look at the dependencies. So right away, I am happy with Next, React, React DOM, Alchemy SDK. This is something that I would not personally have chosen. Maybe if they could, that would be another great enhancement, something that they could optionalize to use Rainbow Me versus Rainbow Kit. And here's the thing, it's like I've used Rainbow Kit and I really like their UI. I like the way that they've done it, but being in alpha or a beta release, there's just been, especially using it with wagme.sh, which I'm surprised not to see in here. They haven't they're not updating as frequently as the other libraries are, and so I end up needing to use older versions of the other libraries to support Rainbow Kit. So if Rainbow Kit got back on top of that and caught up with the most recent like WAGME releases, I would be much more inclined to go back to using that. Right now, I've gone back to using Web3 modal, which has a really great integration with WAGME. All right. Let's see what we get. Sorry, I've got so many windows open. I wasn't planning on streaming, so, Oh, this is cool though. Now, I'm already connected because I am connected on my local host like all the time. So let's disconnect and get a kind of fresher view here. Start by deleting the instructions and JSX. Wait a second. Is this JavaScript, not TypeScript? All right. What? Guys. I know that there's people out there who are probably gonna be like, woohoo, because this is, TypeScript's not their jam. But next is like TypeScript by default now. Even React is going like TypeScript by default. So this seems a little bit out of step with the current direction of things. Anyhow, but this is all neat. So gallery. Oh, cool. So you have some additional apps here. So are these different templates then? Or no, this all right, let's try this because now I want to know what happens if I do this. Sorry. Man, I have to go back to telling you about the folder structure and how I do things or how I've decided to do things. Wait, what? Okay. So yeah, they're working on doing templates. Like, and I appreciate this. This is a good idea. Again, TypeScript by default. I know the debate's still ongoing and it will never really be done, but let's be real. This is the direction that the web development community, especially front-end engineers, but also back-end engineers, are moving this direction. So it seems like there's a good analogy here, I am sure, but you know, you're building tech debt. This is neat. I like this. So if I come back here, so I did that. Oh, I see. So this is the marketplace. So am I going to be able to go in here and build my own templates and sell them? How does this work? So do I need to be in the other directory then? So if I go back into the create web, wait, what is happening? CD, okay, my create, there we go. I don't think I can run it from here. I'd have to run it from the front end, right? But then I want to run this here. Or wait, no, I did run it from console, didn't I? Hey, did I tell you there's a problem with having front end and back end as your directory names? Yeah. Yeah, just developer experience really. And again, actually let's do this real quick. I think I have my yeah. Let's look at what I've set up, which isn't what I was gonna do. This is not what we're doing. But just for to talk about the solutions, not the problems. I'm gonna be solution focused. So I use Turbo Repo. And one of the big reasons I use Turbo Repo is because it's like built and maintained by Vercel. It works really well with Next. It works really well with the whole ecosystem of tools. But also it's very flexible, very extensible. I haven't run into like configuration problems, configuration hell. But yeah, so if I come in here and look at my project, my front end, and I can have not just, I could have any number of front end applications in here. So I could have a marketplace, I could have a explorer, I could have whatever, and they all can use the same set of backend packages. Now, this is based on the Create T3 Turbo template. So I have an API that is basically an API abstraction. It's all, when you launch this on Next.js, it ends up being um, like serverless functions, basically Lambda style functions. So you're not running an API like a long-running Express.js service or something like that. It's these little micro APIs, micro service sorted. I like the serverless functions because I don't have to run a server, thus serverless. Yes, I know it's somebody else's server and there's still a server somewhere, but I'm not managing that server. I do not have to worry about like memory overflow errors, things like that, because it's going to come up, it's going to run my script, it's going to go away. Anyhow, getting way off course here. The contract, I think, is what you're really interested in because we're talking about the Web3-dapp. So here's my hard hat project. Now, a couple of things, like I was complaining right out of the box. I had my ESLinting rules. Now, I have a set of ESLinting rules that apply to the entire package. And then I have the things that need to be specific. So yes, hard hat has some different rules in here than my next project. And that is, there's a lot of reasons for that, right? Because hard hat's like a console application, whereas my front end is this next browser, Next.js based browser application. So, sorry, coming in here. Did I fix this yet? Yes. So my tailwind goes back to a root tailwind, so I can have multiple front ends working off the same tailwind configuration. Oh, maybe I don't have specific linting rules for this setup. I thought I did. It's interesting. I know I normally do. I might have accidentally deleted it when I was cleaning up the code the last time. So yeah, if I come down here and I look, I know what project I'm in. I'm in my NFT template 2 project. I have one console that I can use to, rule them all. I don't have to have 2 IDEs open. So there's a lot of different things that are going on here. I have one Git repo, which, of course, you're going to have one Git repo with this style also. But it's not nearly as, it just doesn't have the same developer experience. Anyhow, back to what we were actually talking about. So I ran this in here, right? Let's see here. So I actually went over, okay, I got back to the beginning. Look at that. This is the no contract one. This is the front. Okay, this is what I want to look at. So I like, okay, here we go. So how do we have our chains configured? It's provider. Wait, yeah. Where's WAGMI coming from? Is WAGMI? Oh, I bet that's why. Or I bet that's okay. So WAGMI is included, but it's included. Sorry, my cat's playing with lines. WAGMI is included through RainbowKit, so it's an inherited dependency. All right, that makes sense. So stay open, stay open. Okay. Default styles. So it's interesting. We chose go early, but they're configuring all of the chains. I don't think I have a problem with that, but that's interesting. Default wallets. WAGMI client. Yeah, this looks like very similar to the way I've set it up. Oh, I do appreciate they've actually got like a layout by default, because a lot of the like create app sort of deals like even the next, maybe the newer version of create next app, or I can't remember what theirs is called, might have a layout, but most of them I have to add this step, and it's no big deal. I would do it differently anyways, um but I appreciate that it's there. So let's look at our component. Yeah, let's look at our pages. So the only page we have is the index, the home page, and that has this instructions component. So we got our nav bar here, which has our connect button, which is just right out of Rainbow Kit. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I suppose this is a dapp, right? We connect. We're not really doing anything, but we connect. We've got, oh, what's going on here? I can't close. No. That is why I have not been using Rainbow Kit. Oh, I have a meeting in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna wrap this up and we'll come back to this later. Switch networks. I mean, lovely. Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. All right, let's take a quick look at the contract before I have to drop, and then we can come back to this later on if y'all want to. All right, my awesome contract. So this is ERC 721, Open Zeppelin based. It's exactly what I would expect. I've been using ERC 721A, which I can see that they are working on an integration for. I am happy about that. Token URI, so it's the token URI. So one thing I would do specifically with this function is to be able to have a like an after. So my token URI needs to point to the metadata, right? So it's probably going to be like I often have to have a .json, or I need to have it go into a specific directory, so like token 231 slash metadata.json, so I would have a before and after, like just as a default here that I can configure, and either throw that in through the constructor, or and have like a set and a get, or just have it in there with a set and a get, and by default it's nothing maybe. I mean, I can see, I don't know, like you don't want to add bloat for the sake of adding bloat for people who aren't necessarily going to use it. But it seems like one of those things that maybe it's just my workflow, but I use it all the time. So all right, but let's look at the deploy script. I would add a validation step here, because I don't still have it open, but look, it's in my recent folders. It's an NFT template -v2, so I know which one it is. Sorry, it really bothered me, and I don't, maybe it's a OCD thing, but it bothered me a lot when I was running in this front end back end style with two IDEs open. It was this friction that I knew I needed to fix. Okay, contract. So if I look at my deployment script, I have this here where it just dumps it out to console, and honestly I want to spend some time at to like automate this, but there's a couple of things, I don't have time to get into it, but basically like you have to wait a certain amount of time for the blockchain explorer to pick up the contract and recognize that it exists. So you can't just like deploy then immediately run it. So if you want to integrate it, you have to have like this pause. It's kind of I understand why it's difficult, but having it dump that command out for me is super great, because also you have to have like the instantiation parameters, the deployment parameters in there too. So your constructor arguments. Thank you, brain. All right, 1 minute. Anyhow, so having the deploy script, not deploy, having the deploy script create the validation command for me with the constructor arguments really saves me a lot of time, especially when I'm like doing multiple iterations of tests kind of back to back. And yeah. All right, let's look at our, oh guys, you gave me a hard hat project without a test boilerplated here. All right. You know, like, I think this being where it's at, if there's a way to do this, and I need to see how like some of the other templating engines do it and what sort of complexities it adds. But if there is a way that we can add TypeScript support to this, I'm going to start contributing, because this does a lot of the things that I wanted to do. It's going quickly in the right direction, and I know this is like a alpha or a beta version of this, and so again, much love, much love. I think that the couple of things that the big things for me are the TypeScript support. We need like an out-of-box unit test here. Otherwise, why are you even hard hatting? Curious to see what the foundation integration is going to look like. I'm excited for ERC 721A and the other contracts that they had. I think that most of the stuff is nitpicky. I think this is really cool. This could be very cool and very useful. It's not where I can use it yet. Yeah, and maybe an optional wallet provider. And now I'm going to delete this. Edit app. Delete app. Stream demo key. Anyways, so yeah, I got a meeting I got to go to, guys. Thanks for dropping by. I'm super curious to explore this more later. Take care and happy hacking.